Erythropoiesis is the process of formation of red blood cell. This is Dr. Gayatri. Welcome you all to Bioskul. In today's session, we will see how the erythropoiesis takes place and what are the factors that regulate the process of erythropoiesis. So guys, please watch the video till the end. Thank you. So let's know about erythropoiesis and its regulation. So before going into the erythropoiesis, let's know what is hematopoiesis. Hematopoiesis, it is also called the hematopoiesis. It is the process of formation of blood cells. So where the blood cells are formed? Before the birth, hematopoiesis, it occurs in the yolk sac of an embryo, and later it takes place in the liver, spleen, thymus and lymph nodes of the fetus. And the red bone marrow, it becomes the site of hematopoiesis in the last 3 months before the birth, and that continues throughout the life. So what is red bone marrow? Red bone marrow, it is a highly vascularized connective tissue. Where it is present? It is present in the bones of axial skeleton, that is in the bone of the skull and the vertebral column, and pectoral and the pelvic girdle, and the proximal epiphysis of humerus and femur bone. Then, what is the hematopoietic stem cells? Hematopoietic stem cells are that stem cell which gives rise to the blood cell. In newborn, all the bone marrow is red and thus they are active in blood cell production. In the adult, the red bone marrow is replaced by yellow bone marrow, which consists largely of the fat cells. Now comes to erythropoiesis. Erythro means the red blood cells and poiesis is to make. That is the formation of the red blood cell is known as the erythropoiesis. So let's see the stages of erythropoiesis. First, what will happen? The erythropoietic stem cell, which is a pluripotent stem cell, it transforms into myeloid stem cells. Myeloid stem cell, then it transforms into proerythroblast. Proerythroblast, it is a committed cell. Okay, means that it is committed to form the red blood cell. So what will happen? The proerythroblast, it will transform into basophilic erythroblast. Okay, this one is known as the basophilic erythroblast. Basophilic erythroblast, it synthesizes the ribosomes and stains blue color. Okay, you can see it looks like the blue in color. So this one is the basophilic erythroblast. Then the prochromatic erythroblast, it synthesizes the hemoglobin and the cell now become both pink and the blue areas. So first the proerythroblast cell, it transformed into basophilic erythroblast. Then the basophilic, this one is the basophilic erythroblast. Okay, and it synthesizes the ribosome and stains with the blue color. Then the basophilic erythroblast cell, it transformed into polychromatic erythroblast. And the polychromatic erythroblast is synthesizes the hemoglobin and it looks both pink and the blue area. You can see this one is the pinkish area and this one is the blue area. Then next, the polychromatic erythrocyte, it will transform into orthochromatic erythroblast. Then polychromatic erythroblast, it transformed into orthochromatic erythroblast. The orthochromatic erythroblast is mostly contain hemoglobin, that's why it appears pink in color, and it ejects most of the organelles, nucleus degrades, and it causes the concave shape. Okay, you can see here the nucleus is also ejected and most of the organelles are also ejected from the orthochromatic erythroblast, and now it becomes the concave shape. So this orthochromatic erythroblast, it will now form the reticulocyte. Reticulocyte still contain the small amount of ribosomes. And when it becomes the completely mature erythrocyte, the ribosome degrades and transforms into a mature RBC. Okay. So now we will see in details about the process of erythropoiesis. So first the hematopoietic stem cell, which one is the pluripotent stem cell. So what will happen? The hematopoietic stem cell, it will converted into the myeloid stem cell. Then the myeloid stem cell, it will form the proerythroblast. Proerythroblast, it is a committed cell, so it will form the erythrocyte. Then the proerythroblast cell, it will converted into The erythroblast, the first erythroblast, it is known as the basophilic erythroblast. Basophilic erythroblast, it is blue in color and it synthesizes the ribosomes. Then next one, it converted into polychromatophilic erythroblast, or the polychromatophilic erythroblast, it is pinkish in color because of the synthesis of some hemoglobin. And orthochromatic erythroblast, because of the presence of the large amount of the hemoglobin, it is total pink in the color, as well as it ejects the most of the organelles, and the nucleus is also degraded and it becomes the concave shape. Next step, it is the reticulocyte. Reticulocyte, it usually spends 3 days in the bone marrow and 1 day in the blood. Okay, and it is the concave in the shape, but it has the some small amount of the ribosomes are present. Okay, then when it becomes the mature, then all the ribosomes, they are also degraded and it becomes the erythrocyte. Erythrocyte, it has the lifespan of 120 days. So I'm sure that now you have a clear idea about the erythropoiesis. It is the production of the RBC and is the maturation. So now we'll see the regulation of erythropoiesis. So what are the factors that regulate the process of erythropoiesis? The balance between the RBC production and is the destruction, that is the regulation of RBC. It depends on the two major factors. What are those factors? One is the hormone and the second one is the nutrition. So first we will see how the hormones it regulate the process of erythropoiesis and which hormone regulate the erythropoiesis. The hormone that regulate the process of erythropoiesis is known as the erythropoietin. Okay, and where this hormone it is released? This hormone it is released by the kidney. And in which condition this hormone is released? It is released in response to hypoxia. Do you know what is hypoxia? Hypoxia is the oxygen deficiency. Okay, so what are the conditions that leads to the hypoxia? That is the lower oxygen content of the air at high altitude. If you go to the high altitude, then there will be the lower oxygen content that reduces the amount of oxygen in the blood. Okay, then if the oxygen delivery falls because of the anemia, that also leads to hypoxia, and increased RBC destruction can also cause the hypoxia. In this condition, what will happen? The kidney it will release the hormone. That hormone is known as the erythropoietin. And at lower oxygen level, the oxygen sensitive enzyme in kidney cannot degrade the hypoxia inducible factor. And hypoxia inducible factor it accumulate and stimulate the synthesis of erythropoietin. And increased RBC production or the high level of oxygen in the blood that inhibit the synthesis of erythropoietin. Okay, as well as the another hormone that is known as the testosterone, it also enhance the production of erythropoietin. Another hormone that is the testosterone, it also enhance the production of erythropoietin. Then the second one is the nutritional requirement. So now we'll see how the nutrition requirement or the nutrition regulate the process of erythropoiesis. Nutritional factors required for erythropoiesis are divided into 3 categories, that is the minerals, vitamins and the proteins. They regulate the process of erythropoiesis. So the vitamin B12 and the folic acid are essential for the maturation of erythrocyte. Vitamin B12 it is required for the DNA synthesis, whereas the folic acid it is required for the synthesis of RNA. You know, the macrocytic anemia is result because of the deficiency of vitamin B12 and folic acid. Minerals such as the iron, copper and cobalt that are essential for the process of erythropoiesis. You know, the iron it acts as an integral part of the hemoglobin synthesis, which is absolutely essential for hemoglobin synthesis. And the copper it is act as a cofactor for the enzyme that is the amino levulinic acid, that is the cofactor for amino levulinic acid dehydrase in the hemoglobin synthesis. So this is the chart that represent the regulation of erythropoiesis. If there are some stimulus that destroy the hemostasis of the body by decreasing the oxygen delivery to kidney and the other tissues, then the receptor which is present in the kidney cell now detect the low level of oxygen, and that low level of oxygen it increase the erythropoietin secretion into the blood. Okay, when the erythropoietin it secretes into the blood, the pro-erythroblast in the red bone marrow now mature more quickly into the reticulocytes. Okay, more reticulocytes now enter into the circulating blood, and larger number of RBC are present in the circulation. Increased production of the red blood cell or the increased oxygen delivery to the tissue that returns the hemostasis back. Okay, that returns the homeostasis back. This is how the erythropoiesis process is regulated in our body. So when there is a destruction of RBC or when the oxygen concentration is low, then that is detected by the cells which are present in the kidney, and they secrete the or they release the erythropoietin, and erythropoietin it help in the production of the red blood cell. When the red blood cells are produced, or when the oxygen concentration becomes the high, then that lead to the production of the RBC. When the oxygen concentration are increased or there is a high production of the RBC, then that inhibit the erythropoietin secretion from the kidney. So this is how the erythropoiesis is regulated. Then the next one is the blood doping. Everyone is aware of this term. So mostly the athletes, they have tried several means of increasing their RBC count, which is known as the blood doping. Athletes, they enhance the RBC production by injecting a drug. That drug is known as the epoetin alpha, which is identical to the natural occurring erythropoietin. Okay. And epoetin alpha, it is this drug is used to treat the anemia by stimulating the production of RBC in the red bone marrow. But the practice that increase the number of RBC are more dangerous, because this drug, that is the epoetin alpha, it increase the viscosity of blood. Okay, with viscosity of the blood means it increase the resistance to flow of blood, that is which increase the resistance to blood flow and make the blood more difficult for pumping by heart. And the increased viscosity that also lead to the high blood pressure and the increased risk of heart stroke. Thank you so much for watching this video. I believe that this video will definitely help you. So guys, please share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.